everybody. So for today's adventure, we are doing some arch hunting in one of Ohio's oldest counties. We are going to be in several different spots in Washington County. But when in the process of researching this, I got the wind about a roadside arch that is just on the close to the Athens, Washington County line, and it is another roadside arch that I had no knowledge of until about a week ago. So
we found it.
We just found it, and we're parked right in front of it. We're going to show it to you here in just a second. But just to kind of give you an idea of the lay of the land where we are right here. This road right behind us here, and all around. This is the Ohio River.
For West Virginia.
Yes, so right out in the middle out here, you probably can't see it, but there's an island out in the middle of the Ohio River that is called Mustafa Island. And Mustafa Island is actually in there. You can see it plainly right behind me here. Mustafa Island is in West Virginia. The West Virginia state line is basically right through the middle of the river here. But this arch that we're about ready to show you is called Mustafa Island. I guess because it's so close to the island out in the middle of the river. But stay with us, because we're going to show you a whole bunch of different places today. Hope you enjoy our adventure. So if you saw our January video, we found another arch that was along Route 52 in Adams County called the Castlegate Arch. But this one is totally different from that. I mean, this is equally as impressive, although what I can say is that some kids have spray painted on the inside of this rock shelter type area, but this might be considered a waterfall type arch. As you can see, there's quite a bit of water that's coming down from it right here. And also there's like a second spot in behind here where the water is coming down, which I'm thinking it might actually form like a second opening over time. But right now you can't see the opening from the back, but this is the opening of this arch. This is really an unbelievable find to see something like this. And it's now the road that it's on is kind of a trick to get to, because we had to come down a gravel road to get there. But just to show you like how close the road is to where this arch is at, we're inside the arch and the road is literally right there. I mean, if it's 20 feet off of the road, I would say can't be more than that. But what an incredible find. Mustafa Island Arch. Okay, Jeannie has scaled up to the top, and she's on top of the bridge part of the Mustafa Island Arch. So we are now at our second destination, which is the Ladd Natural Bridge. We're going to be hiking down the trail to the natural bridge here in just a moment. But let me tell you, this is like out in the middle of nowhere, and this was hard to find. I mean, we had directions how to get here, and we drove around in circles trying to find this. And it said there was a parking area, and we drove past this like 2 or 3 times because it has like these tiny little signs. I mean, and just coming along this old country road, it was not exactly easy to find, and it wasn't easy to see, but we finally found it. We're at the top of the trailhead now, and we're on our way down. See you down there. So you can see right down there, there's the road that goes through, and that's right where we parked. There's only enough space for like 2 or 3 parking spots for Ladd Natural Bridge. And this location, you do have to have a permit to come here. You know, and the trailhead was kind of masked. It's like, but as we started to come down past this garage, like where the parking lot is, we found the sign for the trailhead. So we are now on our way down to Ladd Natural Bridge. So as we're coming down the trail for Ladd Natural Bridge, we come into this gorge area, and it's a really neat area that has water that comes through, and the drop off right there is probably down, probably, I don't know, probably at least 30 feet or so. We want to try to figure out if we can, there's a way for us to get down there. If there is, it's like we may check that out. But very cool. It's like, I mean, you can see, like, looks like there's a pretty good sized cave right there where the water comes down and comes through. I just don't know that there's a way for us to physically get down there without it not posing any danger, but very, very neat place on this trail. So the one great thing about this trail for Ladd Bridge is that it's very well marked. There's signage, and there's a lot of flares painted on trees. At some point, they've actually had a little tie-on plastic flares, so you can't really get lost. Very, very cool. Okay, so it's a pretty good thing that they've flared this area, because almost like the last trail that we were on last weekend, we've come to a deadfall. But if you look, you can see on these trees, there's a little flare painted there, so we know where the trail goes, thank goodness. Okay, we have now made it, and we are on top of the Ladd Natural Bridge. We came over a ridge and we saw, and man, the sheer drop off from this thing, this is not something you want to fall from, because I don't know how high it is, but it's very tall. We're gonna see if there's another path that takes us down to the base so you can get a better idea of what it looks like. Now, as my understanding, like back in the day, the family that owned this land, they used to charge people like 15 cents to visit this natural bridge, and people actually used to drive their cars across this. Now, that seems a little crazy to me, and I didn't see where there was any kind of a road coming through, although the trail is fairly wide at points, but there's no road for motor vehicles to come across this thing at all. I mean, you can see like, over on this side, yeah, it's a sheer drop off from this point. But we're gonna try to see if we can find the path down so we can get a picture of it from down below. So when you get to the other side, if you walked across Ladd Bridge, there's a sketchy little path that heads down, but there's a flare marker there, so clearly this is the way that they want you to go. But right there, that is a sheer drop off. So again, not a great place for little kids. You can't really see the arch very well from above it at all. You can see the opening, but you can't really see much else. But this is not a place for small children. It's like, because it's pretty dangerous, and there's no rails or anything. So we're gonna do our best to get down here and see what we can check out. Okay, so when you come down a little sketchy path, you're greeted with this really cool looking area down here. You can see down below, I mean, that's like a gorge area down here where this natural bridge is. Ladd Natural Bridge, to my understanding, is the second largest of its kind in the state of Ohio. I do not remember what the measurements are, but yeah, its path around it is kind of sketchy, so if you're afraid of heights, yeah, wouldn't recommend. I'm not a good heights guy myself, but I'm still gonna get underneath here and check this thing out.
So I'm standing on top of the waterfall place where the drop, I don't know, is probably 50 to 100 feet below. The arch is up here. It's amazing. Like, I'm actually on top of the world. Actually, on top of the world. It's amazing. So cool.
I mean, so when you see pictures online of this, no, it doesn't do any justice. This thing is pretty huge. I mean, it's really, you've got to come and experience this in person. Just don't be scared of heights. Yeah, I'm standing on the edge on the inside of the arch, and I just can't begin to put into words just how cool this thing is. I mean, wow. I mean, I knew it was going to be cool, but I had no idea. This was so worth the drive here. So we're almost back to the car, and we noticed just a few meters off the trail, there's this old oil rig here. I mean, it's got a generator and everything right there. Doesn't look like it's been used in a very, very long time, but kind of an interesting thing to see in the middle of nowhere in Ohio. You wouldn't expect to see this kind of thing. Okay, so we've now made it to the top of the Ladd Bridge Trail. We've pretty much decided that we want to come back here and spend the whole day here because there is so many cool areas that we would love to explore. There's a really awesome, what appears to be a double waterfall there at the base of the gorge. We just couldn't see, we couldn't see a pathway down that looked safe. Plus, it's almost 3 o'clock, so we're like short on daylight, and we have a couple more stops that we want to make before this adventure is done. So we're going to head off to our next location, and we'll see you with us. So I had some information that I received about a possible roadside arch in Washington County, and I have 2 that I have the names for, but I only have like the rough locations for, and I think we found this one. Not sure if this is Little Arch or Liberty Arch, but right down at the base, so the road is like right up over this ridge line, and we came over, and it's like, and I saw the indentation go down, and then I saw some boulders, and I'm like, that's got to be the area where it is. So if you look right down in there, that shelf right up there that is like dirt and like a tree growing out of it, it's hollow all the way through there. You can see light all the way through. So that's most definitely an arch. We just don't know which one this one is, but not as impressive as the other ones that we've seen today, but hey, we found an arch. So on the way to our last destination, we saw a little highway sign for a scenic view pull-off, so we just pulled off over here to come check it out, and got a pretty nice overlook of the Ohio River. Actually looks pretty nice today. Actually kind of like, has kind of a blue hue to it because of the sky today, but kind of nice. I bet you it's very pretty during the springtime when everything is in bloom, but anyway, not too bad. Pretty cool. Okay, so we are on our way to our final destination, and so no, we're not going to a cemetery, but we are just outside of the St. Patrick Cemetery. Now, the trailhead that we're going on is called the Archer's Fork Loop. This is like a big time backpacking trail, and a lot of people will do the whole loop trail. Today we're only going to go see a couple sites on here. We're probably only going to go about a mile in and a mile back. But we're fighting daylight, so we're going to get moving. But if you decide to come here, know that you will not find St. Peter's Cemetery on Google Maps. This is listed as Ludlow Catholic Cemetery, and that is where the pull-offs are for parking. There's a little kiosk up there, up by the vehicles there, and there's a pretty good sized parking area right here for anybody that chooses to come here. So it's a pretty good sized parking area. That's your landmark, but it's Ludlow Catholic Cemetery, and here's a trailhead, and we're on our way. So a short way into the trail, you'll come up to this marker, and the trail goes off to the right. This is where the Natural Bridge and also the Great Cave is. So we're on our way. Okay, here on the Arches Fork Trail, we have now made it to the Great Cave. I'm about ready to make it down this trail and go inside and check it out. So we're down in the mouth of the Great Cave. There's like a little small waterfall, a small amount of water trickling down through here. Sure, if we have more rain, that'd probably be gushing down through here, but right now it's just a small trickle. Now coming down, a little sketchy, a little muddy, but nothing we haven't done before. It's all good. But this is the inside of the Great Cave. It's pretty much just a large rock shelter. I mean, and we've been in Oh my God, I can't even count how many rock shelters we've been in, but still pretty nice little cave to see out here on the trail. But we're gonna keep moving because we're running short on daylight, so we're gonna try to make it to the arch before it gets too dark. So we're gonna do that now. Okay, we just came from that way, and the Great Cave is down below us right now. And directly past the Great Cave, you'll see a little side marker and a side trail to the Natural Bridge. And that's where we're headed now. Okay, so we pretty much speed hiking on the way from the Great Cave, but now we've made it to the Irish Run Natural Bridge, and we're heading down to check it out. Okay, we're now to the other side of the Irish Run Natural Bridge. We just found a little side trail that goes down. It's pretty sketch, but hey, not anything we haven't done before. It's like we've gone on some pretty skinny trails in our hunting for arches, so this is nothing out of the ordinary, but this one looks like it might be pretty cool, like we can walk underneath it. So we're gonna go down this trail and check it out. So when we came to this trail today, it's like we were about an hour away from it before we got here. And I kind of determined that we would have probably a little over an hour worth of usable daylight, because it's getting dark now, about 6 o'clock, not quite, maybe a little bit before. But we made it all the way down to the Great Cave and also to Irish Run Natural Bridge. And then we've pretty much hauled the way back up. And now this elevation, getting back up to the ridgeline is no joke. But you can see we've got a beautiful sunset pretty much all over the ridges here. And we're on the main trail that goes back to the St. Peter Cemetery where our car is parked. So that is where the adventure is going to end as far as the trail is concerned. Okay, so we're done with our adventure for today. We saw 4 natural bridges, or arches, whatever you want to call them. Saw a pretty cool lookout. We saw a cave. We hiked over 4 miles. And now we're going to end our adventure with one more bridge. We found this wonderful little brewery that was a little bit of a drive from where we were, but this is Old Bridge Brewing Company in Connellsville, Ohio. And that's how we're ending our adventure for the night. Hope y'all have a great weekend, have a great week, and hope you enjoy the video. If you like our video, please give us a like and subscribe. Take care, everybody. Bye.